welcome back to my channel. So today I have a Q&A for you. I did one about, I think, a year and a half ago. It's been a while. I'll link that video for you up in the card above if you'd like to see that video. So I thought, I have had new people following me. It's been a while, and I thought, you know what, let's see, let's sit down, do another Q&A, and I did get some questions. Not a lot, but I did get some, so I feel, okay, let's get into sharing some questions you guys want answered. And I asked on all my social media, but everyone either responded through Facebook or Instagram. So let's get right into the questions. So the first one is from Joanne. She says, where do I start? I have so many, but mine are more along the lines of the differences of where you live compared to where I live. She lives in the States. I can't remember where. She's wondering about like cultures, traditions, cost of living, etc. So basically her question is, what kind of activities do I and my husband do for fun? So that's one question she has. We basically, what we do for fun, when we both work full-time, he loves to play video games and watch hockey. That's basically the two things he loves to do for fun. Myself, my spare time is spent, I go to the gym when I have my 2 days off. I go to the gym, I do my grocery shopping, whether that's fun, not really. I'm basically, if I'm not filming or editing, then I try to rest. But in essence, I have appointments and everything. I don't really have a lot of downtime, but for fun, for me, is filming and doing my YouTube and all my social media. So that's what I enjoy for fun. If we're going to do them together, we like to go out to eat and we like to go to movies. Those are the things we kind of like to do. We don't really travel that much, but going to the movies or going out to eat is what we enjoy doing. We have Apollo, so we're homebody people. So we're usually home a lot. Her next question is, were you both born and raised in Canada? Yes, we are. Derek was born here in Lethbridge. I was born in Medicine Hat. So I moved to Lethbridge when I was about 3 years old. When my parents, a little tidbit, my parents are both American citizens. They divorced when I was quite young, and my dad moved back to the States in Montana, and my mom stayed here and decided to raise her children as a single mother in Canada. She has since passed away 9 years ago. But yes, we both are born and raised in Canada. And she also wants to know, how do I budget for day-to-day living, like bills, wants, and needs? So basically, how I budget is, I just look at what's my check going to be and make sure I budget for that. I live paycheck to paycheck. I always have, and at this point probably always will. Doesn't matter where my wage has gone. I've always lived paycheck to paycheck. I find as I've gotten a better wage, I tend to spend more. That always seems to be the case, that I've been told by other people. But as I've gotten older, I'm making a better wage. I want to finally enjoy my life, because there was, up until about almost 3 years ago, I'm still on a budget, a tight budget, but I didn't really feel like I could purchase things that I wanted to. And then when I changed jobs to where I'm at now in pharmacy, it has allowed me to live a little bit better, as they recognize where I live in Alberta. I'm a registered technician, and they recognize that in where I live, so my wage tends to be a little bit better. But I do all the budgeting for the main bills, and I just every 2 weeks, I figure out what our bills will be for those 2 weeks, and then I just make sure everything is paid off first. As soon as I get paid, I pay myself first, and then I pay all the bills, because I pay into a retirement a little bit. And Derek does that as well. We both have jobs where they pay into a retirement plan as well. And then I just make sure once I'm paid first, then all my bills are paid. And then that little bit left is kind of free money that I make sure that I have enough to get me through to the next 2 weeks. So basically, the next question, Sandra Weaver asks, what type of work do you do? And I just briefly touched on that. I am a licensed pharmacy technician in the province of Alberta in Canada. I've been in pharmacy first as an assistant technician, whatever, back in the day it was all called technicians, for almost 16 and a half years now. I have a Bachelor of Arts and Science degree that I graduated from the University of Lethbridge. I didn't really do anything with that. I have other schooling background in nursing. I didn't finish that. It wasn't my thing. And then I did the pharmacy assistant course, got into pharmacy, and then as time went on, I knew I wanted to pursue being a licensed tech, as regulations and things have changed to kind of make a distinction between those two in Canada. There's a governing body in Alberta and throughout Canada that they govern. Each province has their own regulations and own stipulations on what it is that you need to be licensed. Some provinces do have regulated techs, others still are in the process of doing that, but most of the provinces I think are close to doing that. In doing that, I needed to do schooling for that, which I did, which was very, very intense. More intense, actually, almost than what my university courses and through that was. And then when I was done my courses, I had to do 2 exams. One was a written and one was an oral exam, which was done through Canada. So it's a specific Canadian exam, and had to go through that, which was the most intense thing I have ever been through and hope to never go through ever again. It's a 2-day weekend extravaganza of stress and not fun, and that's what I'll say about that. And if you pass that, then depending on the province you live in, you have to make sure you have applied through your governing body. You have to pay to be a licensed tech in the province of Alberta. I have to have liability insurance, $1 million to $2 million in the event where I'm at I get sued, this or that. But it's a very intense job and definitely not for everybody, but I've been doing it for so long. You really have to be organized and multitask, in my opinion, and really know what you're doing. And you do learn as you go along, and that's currently my full-time job, but doing YouTube and all my other social media is my hobby, but it almost constitutes another full-time job with the amount of time and money and energy I put into that. It is a second job, in essence, that I do free and do it all myself and everything. So thank you for that question. The next question is if you were to have a 2-year-long vacation, where would you go? That's a good question. I would go somewhere hot, somewhere that has an ocean, somewhere that has a beach, where it's just relaxation, enjoying myself, and that would be Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii once, which was Oahu, and I want to so go back to Hawaii. Why Hawaii is I loved it so much. I mean, there's so many different places I want to go, but because I'm familiar with Hawaii and I kind of know, because it's not too far from where I live now, like for a plane ride in essence, that it would be a place I would love to live for 2 years. There's so many places, like it's really a hard question to answer because there really are so many amazing places to go, but if I had to choose like for 2 years, that would be where I would love to go. So thank you for that question. Jennifer asks me, if you could have one wish for anything other than money / lotto, what would you wish for? That's another great question. I would wish to just continue to be healthy. I would love to not be working like full-time in my career paid job, just because I've been doing it my whole life, and now that I'm 45, that's kind of would be my wish, to not have to work full-time, to go down to part-time. And that is something I would really love to do in the next 5 years, to go down to 32 hours and not 40. If it could be less, that would be great. But when you have a mortgage and bills to pay, you have to work. You know, we don't have children, but we have other expenses. So that would be a wish, you know, just to be healthy, happy, and be able to live the life that I feel I'm starting to live by doing what I'm doing with YouTube and my social media. That feels like that's where my passion is, and I found a really good niche with that. And that would be, if I could concentrate fully on that kind of all of that together is what I would love to do. So who knows what the future has in hold, but all of that is just a hobby. She also wants to know, what is my favorite dinner meal to make? To be perfectly honest, Derek and I don't cook a lot. I've never been one that really likes to cook a lot. I don't mind baking. I enjoy baking, and that's what I prefer to do, is to bake. If I'm actually going to make a meal, I want it as simple, and the crock pot is my best friend. I love to make a chicken stew that's got 5 ingredients, but my actually absolute favorite thing to do is, it's always in the summertime, barbecue. It's a barbecue chicken that I make with roasted like baby potatoes, and then carrots. I make like a brown sugar, margarine or butter carrot. I sometimes make the corn on the cob, and I've been making that for years, and Derek says that's his favorite meal. So I make that a lot in the summertime. Like, we both love to barbecue. So when it's summer and that, we will barbecue quite a bit. That's my favorite thing to eat. It's my favorite thing to make. Bonnie asks me, have you ever thought about switching careers? Many times. If I could fully, as I kind of touched on this not too long ago, if I could fully concentrate on my social media aspect, that's what I would rather be doing. And then being able to have some time to do other things with animal shelters, Humane Society, that, you know, being able to do this. And then I feel like I would be able to do some other types of volunteer work. I just don't have enough time to do all of that. So if I could switch careers, it would be to transition to YouTube full-time that incorporates my blog, you know, Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook, and to have that as my focus, and being able to do other things on the side that I'm very passionate about and would love to be able to have the opportunity to do that. So if I could, that's what I would love to do. Because she's saying, since I love home decor and decorating, have I ever thought about becoming an interior designer? I did many times. Where I live in Lethbridge, it's very difficult. I actually did try to do a home decor business when we first moved in here, and it was brutal. The home party business is really, to me, fizzling out. That used to be the biggest thing to do, and I think when I got into it, things are starting to slow down that way, because people don't want to pay shipping and handling. People want to have the product right now. Like, they want to buy it and have it. They don't want to wait for things to be shipped to you. So I really saw a huge shift in the home party business. If you know, like, all the Party Light and the Pampered Chef, I used to go to all of that stuff. And Signature Homestyles was what I was doing for a few months, and it was like an interior designer. Basically, I would go in and I bought the decor from them, brought on my own decor, have the party, and set up, you know, things, talk about the product, and do consultations and whatnot. And it was just too difficult. I wasn't making any money. People weren't booking parties. It was just brutal to do that, and I wasn't passionate in that way. Maybe if I could go back when I was 18 and go that route and go to school and do that, you know, maybe, but it hasn't been until the last few years that I've really gotten into decor. So it hasn't been something I've really been interested in until a few years ago. So at this point, do I want to be an interior designer? Not necessarily. I like just being able to kind of do my thing and not having a set, it's this style, it's that style, what is this, what is that? I don't know if that really makes sense, but I just really like doing what I'm doing on my channel and just in my home. And if people ask me questions for help, I'm willing to help them, but I may not have the answer they're looking for because I'm not a professional. I'm just someone who has a passion for something and just wants to inspire and share that with you. So thank you for that couple questions. Now, LisserBell35 on Instagram had a few questions, 3 questions for me. She asked me, what am I currently reading? To be honest, I'm not reading anything. The last series of books was Outlander, was back in March when I was off on a leave of absence from work for 2 months with my back and doing physio and whatnot. So I got into the Outlander series. I have yet to finish that. I still, I think, have 2 or 3 books left in that series, but then I went back to work and haven't had time because I'm filming. So I really don't have time to read. And I used to read all the time before I got into a lot of social media, but I really enjoy the Outlander series and hope to get back into reading that at some point and finish the series that she has written, but I have them. I just haven't had a chance to finish the series. And she also asks, what do I do in my spare time? I've already kind of talked about that. Basically, my spare time is, again, doing YouTube, filming and editing, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. Now it's my blog. I go to the gym. I try to be a wife, try to be a mom to Apollo, and try and watch YouTube videos and try and fit in any relaxation. There is not a lot of spare time. So sometimes I usually will take breaks off of all social media once a year and take a month off and just not film, not edit, not go on social media and just take a big break because I feel I need to do that because I go. So I really don't have spare time with 2 days a week. I cram all of that in. That's what I do. And her last question, and the last question in general, is what's a day like after work for you? That's pretty good. So usually, because I work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, I'm pretty exhausted by the time I get home. So depending on what my shift is, as I don't work the same shift every day, I have the same weekly schedule. I'm on a set weekly schedule, but I don't work the same hours the same scheduled shift every day. It varies. So Sundays are one type, Mondays are another, Tuesdays are this. So I just depends on my day. If I work a closing shift, then in the morning, depending on if I've booked an appointment, I will do that. Most times I don't, and I'll do either editing if there's a video I need to do, or I'll usually just watch YouTube. So most times when I come home from work, Derek and I will have supper together, and then it just consists of me lying on the couch, breaking out my iPad and watching YouTube or catching up on, replying to comments and snaps and comments on YouTube. And I'm honestly addicted to Best Fiends. Like, I absolutely love Best Fiends. If you haven't, and no, this isn't sponsored, I just don't play really any video games, but this one has got me hooked and I've been playing it for a really long time. I am on level 734. This game is so addicting, and I know others have played it and I can't stop playing it. I play it when I get up in between snapping and Instagram. I play it all on my breaks at work, and I play it. So that's kind of something I enjoy that takes my mind off certain things, and it's the only game I usually will play, and it's silliness at its best. So that is my Q&A, my second one I've done here on my channel, and I hope that you have enjoyed getting to learn just a little bit more about me. Thank you very much for everyone who asked questions. If you have other questions you'd like to ask me, go ahead and leave it on all my other social media, and I can always do another Q&A way down the road. But for now, this will do, and I thank you all so much for watching, for all the support and love. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, and thank you to those who continue to subscribe and support me. I really honestly do appreciate it, because it just means a lot for all, you know, all the amount of time and energy and work that it goes into filming, and it's such a passion of mine. It just makes me happy to know others enjoy it just as much as I do. So I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.